Hey there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the second video in a series specifically about tattoos. Today we're going to be talking about head tattoos, pain levels, what it means to have a head tattoo in society, as well as placements and what to get on your head when you do decide to get a head tattoo. So let's jump right in. One of the first things people ask you when you have a head tattoo is how much did that hurt? And really the answer is it varies from person to person. I, for myself, found this to be about an 8 out of 10. It was very, very painful at some parts, but it was completely manageable. My foot, for example, hurt quite a bit more than the top of my head. One thing related to pain is the actual annoyance factor. I found these tattoos much more annoying than painful. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of loud buzzing from the tattoo machine. You get a little bit of sort of scrambled brain from the tattoo needle going in so repeatedly and so quickly. And it's just a very uncomfortable process. So that's something to take in consideration as well. The pain is one thing, but there's the annoyance factor as well. Getting a job with head tattoos can sometimes be challenging. I know I was recently looking for a job probably about a year ago. I was in between a few things, and I found it very difficult to go into interviews not knowing the acceptance level of the interview panel and not knowing how they would approach my tattoos. I've been very fortunate in my career in that I have a very good resume. My references speak very highly of me, and my track record really speaks for itself. So I don't have a lot of issues getting a job, even with my head tattoos. I'm currently the general manager of a non-for-profit organization where my tattoos really don't matter. In fact, in some aspects, I would actually say they're an asset because they make me a little bit more relatable to my clientele. But that being said, it is something you have to think about, especially if you're younger. If you're the kind of person who's just starting out in a career, maybe doesn't have a very padded resume, it might be something you want to hold off on till way down the line. For me, it was a big decision, but it's something that came already about 9 years into my career. So I had a lot of background experience, background knowledge, and like I said, a very good resume to support it. In society, there still definitely is a lot of stigma when it comes to head tattoos. I get looks all the time when I'm out in public, especially from the older generation. They're not very accepting, not very understanding of the head tattoos. That being said, for the younger generations and for the upcoming generations, it seems to be a lot more popular and mainstream. It's something that is seen a lot more these days, and it's something that is not as sort of drastic as it would have been in the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s. I live in a population of about 20,000. And of all the people I see around town, I'm probably one of the most tattooed, if not the most tattooed person in town. And it sort of sticks out. You're able to see who I am from a mile away. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to really think about your place in society, and if you're willing to make exceptions, and if you're willing to sort of have that altered or affected by your head tattoos. Let's talk about placement. Placement is very different for the head. Being a spherical shape, it can be really difficult to pick something that's going to look good on the head. Anybody can just throw something on there, but there are definitely things that complement the shape of your head better than others. My advice in this area would be talk to your artist. If you are the kind of person who's getting tattooed on your head, I would hope that you already have quite a bit of coverage on the rest of your body, and I would hope that you've found an artist that you not only trust, but that you really like their work. I was very fortunate in the fact that my artist had already done quite a bit of work on people's heads and knew really sort of how to work with the shape. So he just did his thing, and I was able to really sort of benefit from his knowledge and experience. So if you're thinking of getting a head tattoo, remember, they're just like any other tattoo. They're gonna hurt. People are gonna look at you differently. They may affect things like jobs and what your family thinks about you, but ultimately, if you're okay with that, I think they're a great form of self-expression. It's a beautiful way to showcase art, and it's an awesome way to set yourself aside from the rest of the crowd. Until next time, happy tattooing.